Hello everybody and good morning. Today we are going to take a look at the Chasseur du Char. This is an initial impressions video, not a final review. Now, as you guys know, I played this on the test server. The video is up there and I loved it to death. One of the things that's different about this and that is, well, first of all, there weren't as many artillery players. There were out there, but there weren't as many. Secondly, I had an amazing crew on the test server. It was my AMX 5100 crew that had been brought all the way up from, you know, tier 5 BDR, with hundreds of battles behind them and 3 perks 100%, because it's a test server. So those guys in real life actually moved into my AMX 1357 girlfriend and then onto the ELC. So they aren't available for this tank. So when Mitsutayo, and thank you once again, Mitsutayo is the one who gifted this tank to me, gave me this tank, I had no crew to put into it. And so I had to put a brand new crew in, and they are 75%ers, and they are just now at about 80% on their first set of perks. Like any premium tank, that makes a huge difference with this tank. It does make a big difference, unfortunately. So this tank, I am not having a great time with. That said, though, I do have about a 55% win rate with this tank. Now, issues with this tank. First of all, obviously, no armor. It's very susceptible to HE, which means things like this happen. Notice I'm in motion. I'm trying to back out and get away. Yeah. That is issue number 1. I went from completely full health to completely fully dead. And it was a tier 7 artillery. Tier 6, I'm sorry. Right. No, tier 7. Sorry. And that is a big, big issue with the CDC. It's so big, in fact, that I find that probably about 50% of the time that I play the CDC, that is how the battle ends. They either completely break everything in your tank, or they kill you outright. It is something that is very frustrating, and it happens all the time. So I have begun to play the CDC a lot more conservatively, and this battle is kind of an example of that, where instead of doing what I would do in, like, let's say a T-44, or, you know, my Indian Panzer, though the Indian Panzer is pretty soft too, I really take a sniper role, and I guess the Indian Panzer is similar to that, so in some ways you got to play it like that. If you get aggressive with this tank and you get spotted, and they have an artillery or two, chances are they're going to be shooting at you. So if you can stay hidden and shoot from a long distance, that always seems to be the better option with this tank. And as soon as you see somebody's turret turning towards you because they see you, you need to run like heck. So to me, this is the biggest issue with this tank. It loses some of that fun factor because there's a lot of artillery out there. And let's face it, guys, I know we have a very low opinion of artillery, but in all honesty, the guys that are at tier 7, 8, 9, 10, they're usually pretty good at playing artillery. Some of them aren't, but some of the guys are just, that's all they do is they're artillery experts. And you're dealing with that in this tank. And many times they're the ones that are firing on you. And if there's 2 or 3 artillery, I can almost guarantee you, if I'm top tier, that every single one of those artilleries, as soon as I'm spotted, they're aiming at me. And you'll see that, I don't know if I have a video example of that, but I've experienced it many times where as soon as I'm spotted, all of a sudden 2 or 3 artillery shells will fall right by my tank. Usually one of them hitting, unfortunately. Even if I'm in motion, it doesn't matter. The splash damage gets you because you've only got 20 armor on the back and sides and only got 30 on the front. The second big issue, and I want to point this out, I'm going to pause it for a second so we can take a look at the tank. Obviously, it's low armor. There is no gun mantlet to speak of. And you see the section here that has the 2 holes in it where I think they're machine gun ports. Unlike most tanks where if you get hit in that area, the bullet just passes and bounces, you know, because that's like your gun mantlet. With the CDC, they just go right through. You know, scout bullets will go through this. So, once again, in that gun mantlet area, the thing that should protect the rest of the turret from a frontal shot does not protect it at all. Bullets go right through it. So, I'll have many battles where I come out of it and there's holes all over the front of the tank. Because I'm playing hull down. You can see here I'm doing hull down. I'm trying my best not to expose much of my tank as I'm firing on these guys. So really all they have to shoot is that little area. Well, guess what? If they hit it, it's going through. Most tanks that you run don't have that issue. So just be aware of that. You have to hull down, you know, either do it from a hidden location or as soon as you fire, back out. And that is the way that you're going to successfully navigate, you know, running this tank. So those are two issues. Like I said, it's artillery magnet, and it's very susceptible to HE. But you know that going into it. And it's the same as any French tanks. In fact, I would take a risk and say that the vast majority of French tanks require a high level of skill to play. They're not beginner tanks. And in fact, the guys that do well in the French tanks are usually really good players. You know, when I do my reviews and my initial impressions, I do some research. I know you guys think I just kind of willy-nilly get out there and maybe I kind of present it that way. But I do actually research the tanks a little bit and see what other people are experiencing, especially like a tank like this where I have a very hard time doing well in it. So I go online and I look, and you know, here's what I find. I go into the forums with this tank specifically. I found that, you know, a lot of threads of people saying, well, how do I play this thing? It's really hard to play. And then other people saying, yeah, it's difficult. And then a Unicom comes in and says, what are you talking about? And they show, like, you know, pictures of 5 or 6 battles where they earned $100,000 or better. And, you know, they make us look like monkeys. And, you know, but then you read their stats, and here the guy has a 64% win rate overall. And in the CDC, he's got a 60% win rate. So it's lower than his normal win rate, but still, he's doing well in the tank. Well, those guys can make any tank work well. Here, I'm starting to move out here. So that gets frustrating. You know, and so be careful. Read everything. If somebody says the tank is great, look at their stats. See what kind of a player they are. Because if they're an amazing player, I'm not saying to discount what they're saying, but understand that it might be, if everybody else is saying they're having a hard time with the tank, and then the high-level players are saying that, oh, it's a great tank, well, it's a specialized tank. It's one of those tanks that only people who are good do well in. And I feel that way about the Super Pershing, too. Now, interestingly, the T-54 prototype seems like it has a more general appeal. Watch this. What? Of course, I'm getting hit from the side. I should have backed down and gone all the way over because now I'm spotted. So the first prototype actually seems like the people that don't like the tank are the ones that have never played it. And the people that like the tank, ooh, another big hit, and I'm about to take a third, I think. And the people that are enjoying the tank actually are both good and bad players, because it's a fairly, well, I don't want to say easy tank to play, but it's, I can't get him, he's got just his turret. The T-54 prototype, I'm sorry, I'm watching the game and talking at the same time. The T-54 prototype is a fairly easy to play tank in playstyle, because it's got some armor, it's got some protection. You can get a little more aggressive with it. This tank really requires somebody who understands weak armored tanks. How to play them, how to stay safe, how to stay alive, and that has been a very big struggle for me. It has. So anyway, my initial impressions, well, we're watching them right here. This is after a month of playing. These guys they're 75% of their first set of perks. And you can see here, oh, I have a battle. The first battle I got one-shotted, but in this battle I'm actually still alive, and I've done some damage. Not, you know, an amazing amount of damage, but I've done some damage nonetheless. I'm just trying to stay alive. I'm using the terrain to my advantage. Really? Critical? That's typical for the IS-3, those big honking tracks absorbing the damage. This guy thinks he's gonna get me, but thankfully somebody behind me also hits him. So there we go. We just won. Just so you're aware, and that Cold Fusion guy is on this team too. That's so funny. He was in the last game. Just so you're aware, that last battle earned me 50,000 credits. So I did under 2,000 damage, made just about 50,000 credits. This battle actually earned me closer to 65, I believe. Seems to average, the CDC seems to average about $65,000 a battle, if you do well. If you die right away, obviously, it's a lot less. But I seem to do okay in the tank. It makes a decent amount of money. When I play it, I find myself in the hundreds of thousands of dollars going up within a couple battles. It's fun to watch the money tick up. So this tank does have good earning potential. In this battle, you're going to see me get a little more aggressive. I kind of have to, because there's really not any good positions on this map for me to snipe with it. I don't love this map. As you guys know, I get put on this map all the freaking time. Knock that fence out so I can get shots on him without trying to guess where he is. Oh. And I bounced. I'm like, dang it. Now I know, having the T-54, that I have a faster reload rate. Sure enough, he can't get the shot off. Yep. CDC is not bad against, you know, because, you know, it's got that penetration. Now, I would say that there's definitely a consensus within the community that the CDC is the best of the Tier 8 premium mediums. But once again, I also feel like it's the hardest of the group to play. Definitely not going to penetrate that turret. And I can't reload fast enough. I'm not going to sit there and let him pick on me. So, trying to get shots on the T-54. Luck. Can he do it again? Oh, luck. Poor WZ. Not luck that time. The fence is a little too thick there. So I am, situation's not looking too good up here. Everybody's swearing at each other. But our team seems to be winning. And definitely having a good game. Oh. Oh. That happens a lot with this gun. I found that this gun gets a lot of crits. Now, he and I are kind of on the same fire rate. I think he's got that 85 millimeter. He's doing small amounts of damage. And it's too late for him. And now it's time to hone in on this T-54. But you can see here's a problem. He didn't hit me. Look where the splash is. Yeah, his shell went right in front of my tank. But it was enough to do 600 damage to my tank. And so that's it for my initial impressions of the CDC. Is it worth buying? If you're a good player. Once again, over the last 1,000 battles, I've been playing at about 57%. And I have a hard time making that tank work. The CDC is difficult for me. It's a tough tank to play. But I like it. So I'm going to continue to play it, and I think as the, you know, obviously as the crew gets better and stuff, it'll definitely get to be a better tank. But it's not an easy tank to play having no armor. It's one of those players' tanks. The CDC, for whatever reason, seems to be extremely attracted to Sacred Valley. Something about Sacred Valley and the CDC makes the matchmaker put you into Sacred Valley all the time. I get this map all the time with this tank. In fact, let's kind of watch this battle, because I don't really remember what happens here, but I know this was like yesterday or the day before. Oh, yeah. This is the one where the IS-7 completely... I don't think I did much in this battle. I know that I survived it, but... You know, here's me trying to play it safe, right? Ouch. Oh, lordy. He's probably loading HE now. He's getting ready to... And so I back out. And notice who I'm with. Tank Destroyer. That's really what the Chasseur de Char was. It was initially made as a medium/tank destroyer type tank. Turreted tank destroyer. In fact, the name even means hunter of tanks. So it was designed to hunt tanks like a tank destroyer, but doesn't have very good camo because of its huge freaking size. Though I have seen guys that have good camo perked crews hide fairly well with this tank. Though with the new camouflage rules, it's a little bit harder to do that. But yeah, I do like this tank. I do. It is hard to play, for sure. You really have to be patient. You have to have your A game on. At this point, I'm just rambling, so let's go ahead and watch the replay. And yeah, I don't really remember this battle at all. I know it was a couple days ago that I played it, but it didn't grab me as a big game, and it probably is not going to be a big game, but I know that we did win. I do remember that much. I'm looking for this stinking scout. Yeah, he ran away. Look at this. I would too if I were him. I know that IS-7 is down there somewhere. But I also know I can get some other targets going. Hey. Nope, that wasn't me. That was somebody else. This would be what I consider a mediocre to bad game in this tank. Notice I have... And the IS-7 gets me again. Ow. Frickin' ouch. And so far, I have not scored a single hit. One of the issues with the Chasseur is that the gun is not superbly accurate. It's not bad, but anybody that's run the French tanks knows that the gun does have a tendency to pitch things around at times. Wow, I can't believe I scored that hit on the front of an Object 704. Maybe it's the back. He must be facing the low. The Luva. The RH shall be my victim. Yeah. So, finally some damage done. And once again, playing it safe, trying to hide. Where did that go? En français, s'il vous plaît. Bounced off the back of an ISU-152. In typical French style. And that IS-7 is moving out. And it's time for paybacks. That's for taking all my health, buddy. I'm gonna risk everything for you. There we go. And just to prove that the IS-7 is not impenetrable with this tank, and that you can hurt tier 10 tanks, here's another one for you. Boom. Give that one to your mom for me. So yeah, you know. Here I survived. I had almost no health left. And it only took him 2 hits to do that much damage. But then again, it is a tier 10 tank. So CDC can survive tier 10 battles and actually be somewhat useful. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this once again. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Those things help my channel grow. We've had a crazy rash of subscribers lately. I went from, like, once I hit the 2,000 mark, it took like 2 years to get there, and then once I hit 2,000, I've gotten like 500 more in the last 2 weeks. Anyway, have a great night, guys. Be sure to subscribe. I will be doing the review of this eventually, but I want to have more battles. So we'll see you on the battlefield. Have a great night.